identify yourself?
With a bomb.
On the edge.
Literally.
It helps me get my groove on. Music. Rock.
Listen up, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Boom Radio.
It's Silas, the marvelous producer.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, right here on your Boom Radio NG. It is time for another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. We bid you a warm welcome. It's a very interesting month. You know, it's already the 9th day of the month. And you're wondering like, where did the month all go to?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Just like she said, warm welcome to the Boom Bar on your boomradio.com.ng. And a big shout out to people watching out on YouTube and Facebook. And hopefully we'll be able to get back on Twitter very soon. Now that we can't stream to Twitter like we used to. But God knows why. Or shall I say the government knows why. But it's actually a good thing to be here, to be alive, to be able to communicate with you guys. And if you're wondering what are these two people going on about, hey, if you're a newcomer, welcome. The Boom Bar is simply a bar. You know, we've got the drinks in the yellow cup, and I think she has something in some.
It's a red cup.
Red cup over there. And we've got the guys in the building, and of course we've got the gist. There's a whole lot of stuff that's happening in our world, and we also urge you guys to join us and talk about topical issues, you know, but not just to talk or criticize. We're also talking about preferring solutions, which is actually very important. So that's what it's about. So you want to be a part of it, let us know, you know, by searching for Boom Radio NG on YouTube. Subscribe to our page, like and share, leave a comment. Leave a nice comment. You know, but leave any comment, doesn't really matter. It matters when you leave a comment.
Actually does. So, you know, it's been an interesting couple of days, yeah. Very interesting. I think today is probably the first day there's no new news. That sounds funny though.
Yeah,
there's no
because
new news about
new is in news.
Yeah,
new
about
is just,
the
it's just
Ikoyi,
new is new without the S. News without the S.
about the Ikoyi building collapse. Sad. Not that I think as I yesterday the death toll reached 44.
We have a question already.
Oh, okay.
On Facebook.
Oh, please go ahead.
Nigel Cloud, shout out to you. God bless you. And he says, what's the content of the yellow cup? Dolupo has the answer.
It's not my cup.
Throw me under the bus now.
It's not my cup.
It's water, Joe. See, water. What do you drink at bars again? Water.
It's not my cup. I cannot answer that.
But you're the chief barman now.
No,
so
I
what
don't
did
know
you
anything
serve?
about this. I don't know anything about this
Okay.
particular one. We both know who served them. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. So it is a very sad thing. Thankfully, I think on Saturday they actually found 6 other people, even after about 5 days, that actually were alive. Very, very miraculous, actually.
Yeah, and it shows you the resilience of the human body, the human spirit, the
Nobody
mind,
wants to die.
you know, and how, of course, there's been a lot of talk back and forth, but thank God you're not the one in that rubble.
Yeah.
Thank God you're not the one that suffered that
21 story for.
Or maybe you
And
were on the
you
fourth
know,
story
you know the
or
funny
whatever
thing
story.
is that I think that there's a need to really look into how Lagos buildings are actually being built. On Saturday morning, I was going to Lagos Island, yeah? And would I say fortunately or unfortunately, the car that took us passed through what's this place called? It wasn't the Akponwo Bridge. It was all one funny place that I'd never been.
Idumota.
Yeah, it was Idumota, but it was like it wasn't Idumota, it wasn't.
So, okay.
Because it was all the way to the back, then finally got out of Tinubu, came out from one tiny road that popped out of Tinubu, then
Obalende, you guys went through the Obalende end.
Yeah.
Then you came out by King George V.
No. Trust me, it was when you say a dirt road. It was like in the heart of, we got into the heart of Lagos Island. Like we're there for like about 15-20 minutes, just going from one tiny street to another, yeah. And there was something that I noticed.
You guys did not go through Akpogbon. You did not go through Adeniji Adele.
No.
Then it was Obalende.
I think so. I'm not even very
Onikon.
sure. Yeah, it was Onikon.
You went through Onikon. You went past TBS. Then you found yourself in
some very funny place. Like, honestly, I'm not even sure I can. If you take me back there, I don't even know how we got there. But anyway, this was all thanks to Google Maps, though. But one thing that I noticed was there's some houses. I exaggerate not. There were not more than like this width. Some of them where you could see houses that they were joined together with maybe a balcony or all sorts of things. And then it's funny how, the first thing that came to my mind is, if one of these houses has an issue, there are at least 10 other houses that will come down with this house. Houses that maybe they're like built inside the pathway of two houses, and you're like,
that's Isaleko for you.
How?
It's something that I'm kind of familiar with, and you would recall that a few months ago, Lagos government actually announced that they're going to be pulling down a couple of buildings. Majorly on the island.
I think those Isalego houses need to go.
Now, I'm not an architect, but I know a little bit about construction. The thing is that, of course, there's something called a setback.
Yeah.
Which, apart from the fact that you need your space, when we talk about social distancing as human beings, buildings also need to have a little bit of space.
Yeah.
So that,
social distancing is not in these Isalego houses.
So, but you see these buildings and, you're thinking like, is it that the foundations are even overlapping or something?
Do you understand? Like, how was it even built?
I get it, but you see, you could have. It's because the island, needs space, and they learned how to maximize whatever tiny space that they have on the island. But the problem is that a lot of the developers, the people who have the funds, who tend to lease the land or buy the land off the original owners, are so intent on maximizing every
it's all
inch
about
that,
about profit.
And
then you see those houses there 3, 4, 5 floors up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like you could see some houses already bent over. And I'm like, this is a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah. So
because when one thing happens to one house,
there's a ripple effect.
There's a ripple effect.
Or in this case, a domino effect. Yeah.
This is not ripple. It's a legit domino effect. And it saddens because the sad part is that by the time you get to talk to a lot of these people, the next thing you will hear is, if they chase them now, where should they live? But I'm like, you're literally living in a death trap.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they're only done the constructions properly,
I think that it's
Nigel Cloud says, you remind me of my days in Lagos.
I'm serious. It's sad because even if if Lagos State decides not to do anything about it now, it's literally just a disaster waiting to happen.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
It's
like,
a ticking time bomb.
And I digress. Happy birthday to my brother, my friend Yemi Saka.
Yeah, yesterday we're not online. Guess
Jekule's
whose
birthday?
birthday it was yesterday. It was Uncle T's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to both of them. They are all members of the bar.
All of them.
They're all members of the
All
bar,
of them.
yeah?
Or shall I say both of them?
Both of them are members of the bar. And before I move on, just because I did not come yesterday does not mean that I will still not make fun of as people as much as I want to. How in the world? I saw pictures, yeah, of Pep Guardiola. Or I think it was a video where he was shouting instructions at someone, and at that point they were already beating Manchester United at home 2-0. And our wonderful uncle Ole was all chill and calm and collected. And I'm like, what's going on? I would like to know what's going on in this uncle's head. Like, what did you think? What exactly?
It's the attitude of champions, the attitude of winners. When Alex Ferguson left Man United, he brought in David Moyes to replace him, and of course it was disastrous.
A disaster. Yeah.
Some of the players, I think it was Rio Ferdinand, one of the players just said that, look, one of the issues that they had was that with Alex Ferguson, you would know who was starting a day or two before. You knew you were starting.
So it's already...
So you were mentally prepared and physically challenged by the training to, be at the top of your game. In Moyes' case, they didn't even know who was going to play until they got to the stadium or until they were about to go on the field. Do you see the contrast? So players who were used to that mental psyche of, getting ready for war days before, now they didn't even know if they were going to play. You didn't even know if you were going to start or not. One worked for champions, and that's why Alex Ferguson won a lot. It's not one of the reasons why he won a whole lot of laurels. On the flip side, it's the same thing that's happened with this Ole Gunnar guy. Ole is a nice guy, smiling and all of that. But Ole is not a good coach.
Nobody wants nice.
It's just a basic guy. At best, it should be someone's assistant coach helping.
Stay in the championship.
Because of his
stay
calm,
in the championships.
Because of his calm disposition towards things, you should have him read games for you. Let him be your spy. Let him be your analyst. Where you get a proper coach. You understand? And that's my style. So that's why you see the champion in Pep is. We need to kill these guys.
You know what vexes me about Pep?
That's the attitude.
All his what's this thing called? All his media briefings after matches. And even if they've won 5-0, you'll be hearing it was a difficult match. I'm like, seriously? What else do you want? Like, what exactly do you want?
We have another message on here on Facebook. Welcome back, stranger. Ola Tamiyu. It says, missed you guys. Good to see you, Dolu, and my boss, Saro G. Question for you. To be a member of the bar, boom, in quotes.
Do you have to be called to the bar? Oh, yeah, actually.
We
you
actually have to be called to the bar.
Yeah, you actually have to be.
But the call can be a phone call.
It could be.
See what I did there? Good to have you back, bro.
Good to have you back, actually. Good to have you.
How's that side of the world,
Yeah.
Is it cold yet? Should we send you some yellow cups filled with
some.
So
basically,
so that's why Pep Guardiola was.
As it is always he's always
animated.
difficult. Are you kidding?
But that's the
Uncle,
attitude
what's
of
your
champions.
problem?
That's the attitude of champions. Like, even when they achieve, let me give you an example, because I'm one. I coached my church's football team for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So there was a day one Methodist church made a mistake of inviting us to their anniversary, their youth anniversary. We train twice a week. They probably never trained before, or maybe they trained like 2 or 3 times, and they came to play with us. They invited us to Bobby College where we played them. We beat them. It was on a Saturday. The invite didn't even drop until when we were having night vigil on Friday. I didn't want to play. My guys were like, Coachy, we've been training. What are we training for? Okay, so let's go. So we beat them 4-0. The referee was the reverend of their church. So they could not cheat. They tried and tried, but they just thought that we were way better than them. And they were like, did we go and rent players? I said, no, these are church members.
Church members.
We train a lot. So after the match, while they were bringing food and drinks and stuff, we spoke to ourselves and said, around this time, we're supposed to be training. So we started training after a match.
Okay.
Picture that. After playing 90 minutes of competitive football, you now go and train for 1 hour. And they said they would never invite the church again for any friendly games. And they never did.
Of course.
So it's that attitude, like, we showed them that, look, we are done with this, but this is not our level. And that's what Pep Guardiola is showing.
It's very...
The other guys.
I just think that Manchester United just makes it really easy these days. Like, okay, it was fun. Like, you
It's all about the
literally
attitude.
you beat Tottenham, which, like, it is Tottenham. No shades, but it is Tottenham, yeah. But I think that there should even be some form of strife. I think that someone like Cristiano Ronaldo deserves better. I think because we know that he can't do it all by himself.
You know the sentiment of
I think
of being a club legend, yeah?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we'll find out that Ronaldo made the right decision.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is that history will judge. And you say, oh man, this is a guy that came from Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was actually on his way to Arsenal. Arsene Wenger was not really serious about getting him. They played the friendly game against Man United, and all the players went to Fergie and said, boss, we got to get that guy.
Mm.
No, he ran them ragged, you know. But look at him. He became, I think, the first Man United player and the first player based in England to win the Ballon d'Or, you know. Then he went to Spain and became a massive Real Madrid legend.
Yeah.
Then he went to Italy and achieved so much. Then he went back to Man United. So regardless of what anybody says, his place in history is confirmed.
Oh yeah,
but
it is.
It's sentiment. It's semantics.
I think that
he's made the best decision he could make as
they're not doing
a club legend.
They're not doing justice. They're not.
No,
doing
it's not
justice.
there. It's just one person. Ole Gunnar social.
I don't know. And you know what? I think that as much as, you know, I saw someone tweet on Sunday that this is how, what's it called? Arsenal is slowly moving up the table without nobody noticing. As much as I'm actually really proud of the fact that, okay, I agree now with Bear that they're actually like beginning to pick up momentum and all that. I still think that they can actually do better than Arteta.
Well,
I honestly feel so.
Subject for further debate, but the truth is that it's very simple. It's not hard. You cannot, even if you build the finest mansion in the poorest part of town, you cannot claim to be living in a posh place. You get? Your house might be posh, your living room is posh, but your neighborhood is messed up. It's dirty. It's low eyebrows, so there must be low brow. You get? So what I'm trying to say in essence is that no matter how much Arteta does well, except he really maybe wins the league before we would recognize that he's actually a world-class coach.
No, to be honest, at this point,
you need to get a world-class coach for a world-class team.
for him to maybe change my mind about him.
Antonio Conte is a world-class coach, and he has gone to Tottenham.
Yeah.
You know, Zinedine Zidane is world-class.
Speaking
those
of
kind of coaches
yeah. What do you think about Barcelona's new signing and your club Newcastle signing? Did you think?
Look,
what were your expectations and what?
Newcastle is basically still just playing around. Eddie Howe It's not world class. And they're always a nice guy. There's like Ole and blah, blah, blah. He has history with them and they think they want to build on that. But trust me, when push comes to shove,
You're talking about the Premier League here. Like, what are you doing?
The same thing happened with Man City. Because when City got taken over by the rich,
The big boys.
guys that bought it over, like she said, the big boys.
Which they are not very big anymore when you think about
the
Newcastle
coach to
now.
do some magic. They tried its best, then they started, buying
They're like they
expensive.
needed-
They were
yeah.
always bringing in top class coaches almost every year or every other year. It's the same thing that's going to happen with Newcastle. So anyhow, to me, it's just like they said during Nigeria's interim period where they had.
It's just for him to test the watches, yeah.
It's Fidi hair, like in Yoruba, which is interim.
So, but why do that at all?
Because there's no top class coach available now.
Zidane is.
It's not in their plans. It's possible.
Zidane is not in your plans.
You will start to argue now because you don't see their vision. But a year or two from now, you would understand why they waited for Guardiola. You understand why they waited for Klopp. You understand why they waited for Mourinho.
They're waiting for.
Yeah, it's all about musical chairs. Coaches are professionals, and of course, they never hesitate to go to where their e-wallet is being topped up.
Of course, definitely. And so, let's move on from it. Just wanted to talk about that a little bit. And now let's do a bit of international news. I know that we're going to talk about Ethiopia and the media, but before we get to that, there's a lot of news coming out where in southern Niger today, this morning it was about 20. Now about 26 children have died and 13 have been injured from a school fire. And the reason being because the school buildings are basically made from wood sheds and straw.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the classrooms caught fire really fast. And now, about 6 children between the ages of 5 and 6 have been burned to death.
So, excuse me. I saw the story a couple of hours ago. I tried to zone out. I confess live on air that I felt it was a very sad story.
Yeah.
You know how difficult it is to get education in Africa.
And then
you go and of course there's issues. The other day there was pictures of there was a video of children, I think at Makoko, who were standing in a pond or in the edge of the river and they were singing the national anthem and all of that. Video went viral, people complained and said that's how difficult it is to get an education in Africa. And when you now even make an effort, you come across all these kind of things and it starts to make you wonder, like,
what's the point?
What's it really about?
What's the point at the end of the day?
I send out my condolences to the families of these angels that have paid the ultimate price. It's so sad. Nobody deserves to go like this. Nobody.
Definitely.
Like I always try to highlight avoidable deaths, and this is another.
This is actually
sad case
an avoidable one. And before we're moving all the way to South Africa, where there's a story that thieves have stolen about 541 kilograms of cocaine, worth around $13 million from a police station in South Africa.
Let me use the parlance that we use.
And why?
That they use on the street.
How and why?
That they use on the street in Nigeria. They say, "Na inside job." You don't understand.
Because how and why?
How
did they know?
People stole cocaine, which is supposed to be evidence, from a police station.
Yeah.
Okay. So somebody will just walk
cocaine worth $13 million.
Somebody will just walk into a police station and steal. Abi?
They came with arms and ammunition. Arms and ammunition.
Like my good friend said in his song, Kelechuku
Clap for yourself.
Well done.
Okay.
You always forget to put the well done part. Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Don't be offended.
Spending my rat.
He's spinning your rats. Oh wow. Anyway, so moving on. Let's talk about Ethiopia. I know that you actually have like a whole way to break down stuff about what's happening in Ethiopia. So please enlighten us a little bit.
So of course, you said I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take it as a compliment.
You're off mic.
I'll take it as a compliment. It is really sad what is happening in Ethiopia. And
Still off mic.
I'm trying to actually search for something that I was going to share. So this is it. There's a narrative that we need to work on, that we need to correct. I remember, Mr. Digressor, you can call me that. Do you see how well Nigerian music is doing now?
Oh yeah.
See how well African music is doing now?
Yeah, and I was reading today talking about
Amari.
Nigerian music.
Amari is Ghanaian, right?
What's
She's
it called?
American Ghanaian.
This song, CK's Love Wanting
Yeah.
has 15 billion views on TikTok as
Yeah.
of today. So please go ahead. Just wanted to put it out
And
there.
for those of you who don't know, CK is a Nigeria boy. He's our boy. You know. So shout out to
Just in
Sarkodie.
case you wanted to.
Shout out to Nasty C and all the other great Salty Soul and all the other great African acts that are doing well and putting the African continent out there. The only reason why, in my opinion, we're doing well now globally, Wizkid, Davido, Barnabas, Olamide, and Shatta Wale and all the other African artists, because they're doing African music. They're doing it from the African side. Even if they take elements of R&B and hip hop.
Yeah,
and jazz,
I think I get your point. Like they're doing like original stuff now.
stuff
It's
that
not just
people can relate to
sample.
and say, we want to, you know.
It's different.
You've not heard it before.
It's different. I get
get?
what you're saying.
And before them, the King Sunny Ades of this world were doing the same thing. Fela, Obey, Oliver the Coke, and rest of them. And they actually had global acclaim. It was the period where we started copying American music.
Then we just went off
And
the
we
radar.
fell off the radar, you know. We get it. I didn't mention anybody's name, but it's the truth. Nobody wants to listen to you because you're whack. You're trying to sound like them.
You know the funny thing is that actually said that.
Yeah.
If I would remember very well,
Please
the
go
person that you're trying to, this person was trying to, if you actually listen, there is lyrics.
Yes. You
But
know.
you
You
just
just
went,
went shiggity. And that's what went wrong with the music, because everybody wanted to, you know, yo. It did not work.
it didn't work.
Globally, it did not. It didn't even leave the borders of. As at the time, Nigeria was trying to sound like that. Makossa music took over.
Yeah.
As at the time we were trying to sound like that, reggae music came through. All the other genres of music took over because you're trying to copy. But when you decided to go real, shout out to Don Jazzy, the band, you know, and a whole lot of people, a whole lot, who basically retraced their steps and started doing, you know, when Davido did that is on Emma Dami Duro. Go listen. It's taking lyrics from Obey and some old people and Sonny and Co. That's what it is. Wizkid, all of them. So why have I gone that way?
All the way.
I've done this to prove that only Africa, can sell and tell Africa's story the right way. So in Ethiopia, there was a major protest yesterday. I'm talking about, just picture when like half of Lagos comes out to say enough is enough. And they were actually protesting against foreign media. And in their own opinion, which is what I'm trying to push out, they're saying that it's fake news what the foreign media is reporting. But you see, foreign media, they've been doing this for years, but social media is changing it now. All they do is, like, for instance, there's something happening in Nigeria. The African imagine having an African correspondent. Africa has over 50 countries. Abi? 52 or so, yeah?
52, yes, about 52, 54. I'm
So
not
you
sure
have
about
you
that
have
now.
an African correspondent
Correspondent
who is
that
based in South Africa.
That is covering the whole thing, the whole of Africa, which if let me start, because the whole of Africa is probably about, I think I'd read that thing somewhere, is when you add Europe with
Oh my God.
South
You get-
America with, excuse you,
So you have one
and
correspondent.
they see you and you're like, hey, you're African. No, I'm Nigerian.
Be it Sky TV or Sky News, CNN, BBC.
One person in South
Al
Africa
Jazeera.
is recording what's happening in Anambra,
in Kenya,
in Ihiala.
in Lagos.
Are you kidding?
How?
Don't even let us go to.
So
Don't even let me.
I picture when there were riots. Picture when there were riots in Lagos.
And
Nigeria.
how you
At that
could
same
see
time-
videos of people of international media that were actually in Lagos,
Because they had to come.
and the ones that were in South Africa
Reporting
and had
what's
a whole
happening in
documentary
Nigeria.
about what was happening in Nigeria.
So
But of course, even we decide to glorify them more than our own.
because anytime you're doing something, Nigerians will go and tag CNN. Come and see you. You're tagging.
You know,
You don't respect your own
always
media. It's
beats
fine.
me is that okay? So what do you expect them to do?
Beat us now.
What has that happened? All the tagging that you have done all this while, what has it achieved? It's a very sad story, yeah, because, and the truth is that a lot of things that we hear from Ethiopia, and I think that it's time that African media needs to step up. Take, for example, a BBC feels the need to go all the way from the UK to Ethiopia, or maybe a CNN or a CBS. But why is it that Nigerian media do not feel the need to go to Ethiopia to actually get the stories
Get to the bottom
from their
of it.
own
Like,
angle?
what exactly is going on?
What exactly is happening there?
And I know, and that's the only way. I want to say shout out to one TV station, but if I do it now, they will say it's because of my affiliation, so I'll leave it. They actually have situations where when there's something happening in those countries, they speak to independent journalists and analysts. You get, so that you can get perspectives. You get.
Exactly.
We need to change the narrative. Africa needs to stop depending on the foreign media to tell the African story. And that's what's going on. So there's an angle that the foreign media has picked on the crisis in Ethiopia, which is actually making a lot of people uncomfortable now in Ethiopia. And so the people of Ethiopia have actually come out to, really fight back, and they're saying, hell no, we're not going to let this ride. We're not going to let this slide. You guys are trying to cause trouble for us as a country and everything. And it's about time that we all got together.
The African continent needs to step up themselves.
It's very important.
I think
it's
that
very important. And for the foreign media, we're not saying you don't have a right to cover. We're saying
just
do it
do
properly.
it the right way, not because not from your own angle. Do it.
The
properly.
funny thing is, if you go check out most of the foreign media houses, they have people in Syria. Covering Syria.
Yeah.
They have people in Iran,
in Iraq, and all these
in
places. But
Turkey.
no, of course.
But when it's Africa, they'll send one
You just
crew, one cameraman and one reporter, and that person is supposed to cover the whole of Africa. You can't even cover the whole of Lagos, not to talk of Nigeria. So shout out to the BBC. I like what they've done. Now they're based in Nigeria. They have always had BBC Hausa.
There's the
Now
BBC
Igbo,
Hausa, there's Igbo,
Yoruba.
there's Yoruba, there's Pidgin. Oh, they're doing really well. And we know that if you want to be global, you have to be global. Not just because you're just sitting in one place. And I think that's what it is. Nigeria and Africa itself, we need to tell our own stories by ourselves. Like if we take the issue of Ethiopia, yeah, and we know that the vice president is in Ghana at the moment. There's an ECOWAS meeting about countries that have a lot of issues.
We also need to let you know that President Nana Addo is the current
chairman
of the ECOWAS.
So basically, that said now that I know the vice president he had come out to say that ECOWAS is officially holding on, continuing the sanctions they have on Mali and Guinea. And it's funny because if the way the foreign media had portrayed Ethiopia too, ECOWAS should have actually just what's it called? They are talking on EU. AU actually also has what's it called? Sanctions on Mali and Guinea.
Yeah.
Why not Ethiopia?
Exactly.
Then there's a problem somewhere. We see how they're talking about how these things need to be done properly, and it's sad because until we actually look at these things in depth, then why is there a reason for this and there's no reason for this thing. So is the news actually being properly decimated or something?
You need to disseminate the news properly. So before we leave the Ethiopian matter, if you just take time out to search for what happened, maybe like Ethiopian resistance or something, you will find pictures and videos of a massive, as in Dolu, I'm talking about a massive turnout of Ethiopians actually condemning foreign media boldly condemning foreign media.
No, really, let's be honest. It's time we actually do better by ourselves. It's time we actually really, really do better. We need to stop what it is and then let's move on. Like, okay, we shouldn't. There's this, I don't want to call it slave mentality, or thinking that, and I see it a lot. It happens to a lot of people, a lot of Nigerians. I don't know what's happening with a lot of other African countries, but I see it with a lot of Nigerians, especially youth, that you feel like what is being let's take the media for example. What is being reported on CNN and BBC is more superior to what is something that is happening to a media organization in Nigeria. And you get like, okay, you see it a lot. We take it as, like you said, the gospel truth, and that's it. It's almost like there's a slave mentality somewhere that
there is, and it's still there.
Something white is more superior than your own thing, and it's almost like it's just mouth. We just keep talking about it, but we actually really never act it out the way it's supposed to be. I think that generally the media needs to do better. Even us as regular people, we also need to do better. It is time that we also should set up. We live around these things. What is the real story? Before you post things and all, find out the real story. Everybody is not a journalist, but almost everybody has a phone now. Let's find out the real thing before we carry a lot of this news.
Let's just share some important information that we have that guides us. It's simple, and you guys will enjoy it. If in doubt,
leave out. It really doesn't
cost you anything. Are you really sure about that story you're about to publish?
Exactly.
That you want to broadcast.
And then at the end of the day, all we just want to do is to go viral. It's a very, very sad situation, but it is what it is. But we'll see how that goes. So coming back to Nigeria, we know that the Anambra elections were over the weekend, but it did not end because in Ihiala local government area, which is said to have the highest number of voting registration, about 148,000 registered voters, there was violence and the whole local government people did not get to vote. Now, I really thought that there was the results that came out over the weekend was saying that the APGA candidate, Professor Soludo, the former CBN governor, was leading, and he had this number of local governments. No, but actually doing a little bit more research this morning, I found out that he's leading with barely 40,000 votes. And Ihiala has 148,000 registered voters.
Yeah. Meaning,
it can go either way. It's not in the clear yet.
It's not. Mathematically is not in the clear yet, and but when people look at the geographical spread of his victory when it comes to the number of local governments that he has won, it looks like, he has won, but it's not about the spread alone. It's also about the volume. Like it's supposed to win X number in certain places. You get, and because of the Ihiala gap, this runoff or shall I say rerun had to happen today. Now that's what INEC has explained, and that's what the law says.
Oh yeah.
And for him to even be legitimately employed as the next governor, because he will be elected then employed by us, he has to also participate in today's elections, which is not a problem. For me personally, I think he is the next governor of Anambra.
I'm really rooting for the guy. I actually think that he's
no matter what people say or do,
he's more of a technocrat. He gets it. He's been in the system. He probably might do a lot. The Southeast needs a lot.
A whole lot.
They need a lot economically, infrastructure. They need a whole lot. And I don't envy any governor, a current governor or any governor coming in now. It's a whole lot of work with the Biafra issue. There's a lot of insecurity. All the sit-at-homes and how it is destroying the place security-wise and economically and all that and all sorts. It's very, very difficult, but we'll see how that goes. There's a lot of talks about it. Of course, there are a lot of speculations, but it's until we really we finally get stories from. We know that INEC has said, which is the right thing to do, that until they actually announce it, until everybody is all waiting for INEC, but the elections generally are not going to end till 4 p.m. today.
Yeah.
Then the counting, and maybe, hopefully by tomorrow,
before
midnight, or
Worst
maybe
case scenario,
tomorrow.
like she said, tomorrow.
So by tomorrow, we definitely will know the new governor-elect of Anambra State.
Remember when you talked about how people keep publishing stories because they have smartphones, and they don't even verify to find out if it's real or not, and all of that, yeah? So someone put something out on Twitter, and it has to do with the third mainland bridge again.
Okay.
And you notice that this particular third mainland bridge story has been in circulation for years. They're talking about how you should avoid, third mainland bridge, and you should use alternative routes.
What's wrong with
and
third mainland bridge
send this to
now?
as many people as you know, that the bridge is shaking and blah blah blah.
Oh,
the
my
same story,
gosh.
the way it was crafted, I saw it 6 years ago, and it keeps going round and round and round. I understand that they say better safe than sorry. I get that part, but guys, are you saying that we cannot even use our own discretion? We cannot use
have
our
small
own
common
intuition.
sense.
Like,
Small common sense.
Do you think that anything you get is the truth? Because it was broadcast, does that make it true? So I just want to tell guys, especially Lagos people, disregard anything about the third mainland bridge. The bridge was tested, and the expansion valves and all the work that should be done has been done. You get. If you drive around that area at night, you'll find that the only place where work is being done now is after the bridge, where they actually intend to take the construction from there to the Ojota bypass, but they only work at night so that it doesn't.
I just think that we should really just calm down with the kind of things that we say.
Everything we see online as the gospel truth.
We really need to just calm down. We need to calm down. And I want to leave that and talk about something that's been happening it happened over the weekend, yeah? But it's now really a lot of talks, and it's the issue of, I'm sure you'll have heard about Travis Scott's Astroworld concert. And it was really big, yeah?
Yeah.
And before that, I want to take you back about a week ago, all the way to Sweden, where we saw ABBA. I don't know if anybody know them. They're supposed to be a Swedish pop group.
The biggest and the best ever, man. Like, from that country, I don't think anybody can top it.
And after 40 years, they came back together, and they were going to have a tour. And in the midst of their concert, I think about 2 people died, 1 person. The story is that somebody jumped from the top and fell on people, and 2 people died, 1 other person got injured, and all that. And then we thought that, okay, that was, it definitely brought a dampener on that because everybody was really looking forward to them after 40 years. And the funny thing was that the very first time I heard ABBA, it was from my mom, and it was this song Chiquitita. She always plays that song, and there are songs like that just always sticks to your memory. That's when I'm like, okay, who are these people? That was how I knew who ABBA was. So, fast forward to last weekend. There is an Astroworld concert in the US.
Oh, yeah?
Headlined by, there were a few people there. There was Drake, Travis Scott. And all, it was actually a Travis Scott concert. And 8 people died from stampede. And hundreds of
crowd
people.
surfing.
Yeah. Hundreds of people actually got injured. The story is that a lot of people were trying to get to the front. And so people were trampled upon and all sorts of things. And now he's getting sued left, right, and center.
Yeah.
And as of today, the police is not helping matters because the police chief had come out to say that he was warned about public safety concerns in the first place. And now, I'm like, the first thing that pops in my head is that a lot of these concerts stopped because of COVID last year, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it that because it's not like COVID is even ended, yeah? Where it almost seems like we're taking this thing overboard, like people just want to get out. Isn't there things like crowd control? Because even those kind of concerts in the first place, I don't even think that they're even supposed to still be allowed because of COVID.
Yeah, one injured concert goer, Christian Paradis, actually has sued Travis Scott now. And of course,
sued him for what? That's
is seeking $1 million in damages, and of course, there's also added Drake as he was a surprise performer at the concert. They also added Drake to the suit, and they said that they are blaming Scott for allowing people to storm forward and everything during the performance and all of that, and that's what led to the stampede of sorts, and of course none of them have commented on the part of Travis Scott. He's already offered to foot the bills for the funerals and people's, because those things too can cost a whole lot. But the thing is, how he's going to navigate around all of this mess. The sad part is the police saying that he had been warned.
Do you understand that actually
dangers.
really does make it worse?
Yeah,
Makes
he
it
talked
worse.
about how people really, yes, to be honest, people want to go out. Even Kiss Daniel dropped a song last year saying we won't come out. Like, it was talking about how everybody's been tired of staying indoors for the lockdown period and everything. So we get that. There was even a protest in New Zealand or where recently.
Yeah, just yesterday.
Yeah, so you can relate to that. But the truth is, at times when there's a crowd involved, you would do your best to control the crowd, but you cannot determine how things will pan out. There's no amount of security personnel that you deploy that can stop this kind of stampedes or
it's very. So we just really need to be more careful with a lot of these things. And talking about injuries, it's very sad. We talked about last week where I think it was Alec Baldwin that he shot.
That was like 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, cinematographer where a live bullet was put in.
Even this Travis Scott concert, there was stories of people crowd surfing and someone injecting them with little drugs or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So the police are looking into that too. That it's just a whole lot of things happening at the same time.
Yeah. And then news have come out today now that Black Panther Part 2, that the production has stopped. I can't say for a fact if it has stopped completely, but it has stopped for now.
Yeah,
it's suspended because the lead character now, who's supposed to be the sister to Black Panther, Letitia Wright, had suffered injuries during the production of this movie. And there's just so much back and forth, and you're like, okay, is it that these things didn't used to happen, or why the sudden
there's a lot of awareness now about it, especially with the passing of King T'Challa.
Okay, Chadwick Boseman. Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman's passing, then again, of course, the Black Panther was a massive success. It was a movie that a lot of black people out there saw.
Everybody definitely,
as their own.
it
they
was
felt a part of it.
Yeah.
So of course, that's why whenever anything goes wrong, it's gonna be a lot of buzz around it. But regardless, it's still something that whenever they are done, we all still want to go watch.
Oh yeah,
on our devices.
Definitely, it is what it is. And like you said, you talked about Kiss Daniel earlier. Kiss Daniel has announced his 4th studio project coming out, and it is Barnabas. And now I know that this weekend is supposed to be another set of what's this thing called?
New music. Please.
It's I'm actually looking forward to Kiss Daniel's album, because I don't think that guy really he just never we know that sometimes the songs, some of those songs do not, as we call it, they don't blow as much as you would expect. But I don't think he actually ever has bad songs, true.
Yeah, remember when he said no bad songs?
Yeah.
That was the title of one of his albums. So everybody's excited about it. We're looking forward to getting it. But let me give you a little bit of gist that has been like crazy out there in the entertainment world. It's trending and it's crazy. So, Fireboy has a lot of hit songs, But the last song that everybody's going on about, the Fireboy song that's trending and everything, during an interview, Fireboy revealed, I think that was last week or so.
Oh, okay.
He revealed that Olamide leaked the song. Olamide is his record exec.
Okay.
And he owns YBNL Records, where he is signed on to. And because Olamide was like, you don't want to drop this. Fireboy was holding back. So Olamide actually leaked it. So Fireboy found out that Olamide had leaked the song after the song had gone out. So he actually reviewed on tape that the song was leaked. So yesterday, Olamide now put out like a line from a song.
Yeah, okay.
Because Phyno is dropping an album. I think it's going to drop on Friday too.
Oh, okay.
And of course, Phyno can't drop an album.
No, without Olamide.
Olamide can't drop it. This guy's, the chemistry between Phyno and Olamide is amazing, you get. So, when Olamide now put out a line, it must have been from the song that they're about to drop. Phyno now quickly tweeted at him, send me your cash app. that he was going to send money to Olamide. That Olamide should not leak it. Don't leak it. So a lot of people caught on to it. Someone now tweeted at Olamide that, please, what would it take for him
to leak my song?
No, to leak Wizkid's songs. There's some songs from Wizkid and some videos. Wow. Because this album, Wizkid is owing his fans a lot of videos from the Made in Lagos album. So Olamide just came here and he was crying. The crying emoji, like, you guys are crazy.
You have done
so
me.
Guess what happened? 3 hours after the song came out, the song between Phyno and Olamide actually came out. And I urge you guys to go search for it on the streaming platforms, and you get it. We won't get it until Friday and all of that, but we're asking you guys to go check it out. It's exciting times out there for Nigerian entertainment.
Definitely, finally, very exciting times. And before we finally leave, I just wanted to put it out there that the NNPC, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, has said, because I don't even know where people used to hear these things from, they have said that there is no increase in PMS price and that there is also no shortage of fuel, as they have adequate supply of about over 1.7 billion liters of petrol.
Yes, it's actually good that they said that, because there's actually fuel scarcity in Abuja and some other
I think I saw in Zamfara and a few other places, and you're like, okay, where do you used to come up with these things? Because I'm like, this thing happened okay, don't let me say what. Okay, let me just say a bit of it, because I think about 2 weeks ago, on one of so-called WhatsApp groups, I saw it and they're like, go and buy fuel in your car. And I'm like, which fuel are you buying in your car? You fool. And they were like, hey, I'm always very nonchalant about a lot of things. Okay, number one, it's not money that I have that I used to buy the field in the first place. But that beside the point. Maybe because one is in the media, yeah, and then you pick up a lot of stories as they drop and all. And I have come to see that if there is going to be an increase or those things, there will already be conversations about it. Yeah, like we've seen it in like a year or two that it just doesn't happen just like that. And then I'm like that. We know, at least I know for a fact that there is no deregulation anymore, at least for now.
Next year, definitely.
Do you understand? So I'm like, as long as they're paying subsidy, so they're not going to increase that. And they're like, how are you sure? I'm like, I know. It's information that is out there. Do you understand? I'm like, can we just, like, and this back to what we were saying before, can we just be sure of what we're putting out before we actually put it out? It's very, very, very important. We don't know who's listening. We don't know who's watching. We don't know what damage it could actually cause. Let's be very, very careful. Be wary of just, even if people send stuff to you, let's be wary of just broadcasting it.
Jumping on the bandwagon.
Just jumping on it. Because, oh my God, before you know it's spam.
There's something that I'm definitely going to cut you to broadcast.
Okay.
You showed me this video yesterday, but I also saw it online.
Okay.
A few minutes after. There's a guy called Oribafo or whatever, you know. And his real name is Ogunremi Olubumi. And he was arrested in Ekiti State.
Oh, okay, yeah. I
He's
saw that
actually
video.
a kidnapper, you know, confirmed. The guy has confessed on tape to have carried out a couple of heinous crimes. He's done a whole lot of terrible things. The one that gets me is when he was listing the people he kidnapped, and he also listed his mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, yeah?
Bro, so what happened now?
I'm like, what
Actually-
else do you want?
Actually, is it that bad? In worst case, you go and do divorce now. Why you go kidnap your mother-in-law?
Seriously.
But I'm glad that this guy was arrested, and of course,
Then we'll see that a lot of Fulani headsmen stories.
The Fulani headsmen, it puts paid to that Fulani headsmen narrative because they're arresting people in the southeast, they are Igbo. They're arresting people in the southwest, they are Yoruba.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're not killer headsmen.
Yeah, I think
just
people
saying
are
that
just cashing in on the times.
They're criminals. I've
they're
said it before. They're criminals in the southeast, in the south, and in the southwest. They're criminals in the northeast, the north central, and the northwest. They are criminals everywhere. And we cannot pin it on one group because that way we allow the criminals in our own area to get
thrive.
away with blue mother.
Definitely. So that's all we'll be able to take today on the Boom Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the comments. We'll be back again tomorrow with another wonderful edition of the Bar. We thank you for everybody that has joined us today. But from us to you, it is peace.